Our next guest is calling it quits after 16 NFL seasons. Not many people can say that, but after over 1,000 receptions, 81 touchdowns, and nearly 15,000 receiving yards, there's a good chance his next stop will be at the Hall of Fame in Canton. We welcome Steve Smith to the desk. Let me just say, congratulations on an incredible career.
Appreciate it.
Well, first of all, we do understand that the Hall of Fame is not just because of his play on the field. He has the greatest name in sports. You know, so give it love. Give it love right there. Give it love right there.
Technically, it's Steve.
Also had the whole league shook at his size. Like, no one wanted a piece of him somehow.
That's right.
Before you did the Giants in the playoffs, by the way.
But honestly, we've enjoyed watching you so much for years. Congrats.
I appreciate it.
So you know these Patriots very well. Which team is the biggest threat to New England in the AFC?
I think the biggest threat can be potentially the Kansas City Chiefs. I think overall they're a more well-rounded team. I think defensively they create a lot of issues, but then offensively they are very explosive, but they also can become methodical down the field. And I think when you're playing the New England Patriots, you have to be patient. They do a very good job of making teams impatient, a la the Baltimore Ravens. When we become very impatient, you start to do things that are uncharacteristic. And when you do that, you make mistakes. And then all of a sudden you find yourself down 14 points in the beginning of the second quarter very quickly. I remember that game where we didn't even have the ball. You know, they had the ball for 10 minutes straight. So they do a very good job of dink and dunk. You know, Tom Brady's doing a great job, you know, without Gronk, without some of the big-name guys he's had in the past. But that makes his legacy even bigger because no matter who you put out there, he makes those guys better. He's very methodical. He could carve you up, just like you said about Aaron Rodgers. But I think he's a step above Aaron Rodgers. Several steps.
No one's above Aaron Rodgers, Steve Smith. I know you've forgotten more football than I'll ever know, but you're wrong about that one. Look, you talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, you're absolutely right. That's the smart money pick, right? Like that's the most well-rounded kind of threat to the Patriots. And I've been all season saying, I know everyone wants it to be the Steelers. I grew up a Steelers fan even before I was a Giants fan because the Giants were sorry.
The thing is, I wasn't paying attention to you during the season, so I don't know.
Right. Right. Well, listen, you were playing.
Yeah.
But the fact is, I looked at the Steelers all season. I know people wanted it to be this historically great offense, but they were missing certain pieces. The defense was terrible. The secondary was no good. You know what's happened over the last 7 games? The Steelers have rounded into an elite defense. I mean, I see they can get after the quarterback. And now you have a team that is the real X factor, I think, in the AFC. Because, you got Brady. Okay, he's the best. How's Big Ben? Not too shabby. You got a receiver and a running back who are as good as you ever want to see. Like, you've never seen something really that much better than those guys. And now you got a defense that's getting after the quarterback. I know the Kansas City Chiefs are the smart money pick all season long, but the way they're playing right now, boy, I would not want to see the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, listen, I agree with you there. The Steelers would definitely be a bigger threat to me because they're not as pedestrian offensively as the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's really what it comes down to. Jamal Charles, had he been in there, that would be different. Not to knock Spencer Ware, because I know Spencer Ware can play, and I got major props from him. But Jeremy Maclin had some health issues. Kelsey can play. We all get this. But I just look at the Kansas City Chiefs, and I say to myself, it all comes back down to Alex Smith. And that's the reason why I use pedestrian. He won't kill you, okay? But that's the problem. He won't kill you. You see what I'm saying? He won't kill himself, but he won't kill you either. Because
but that's not necessarily all his fault. He is only executing the plays that are called.
Well,
if they are calling plays, sometimes
question.
Yes.
Reason why I feel differently about that, educate me on this. I would feel that way if he were that way in a particular system. He's been that way since he's been in the NFL. That's my issue, no matter where he's at. So I got to believe that some coach, particularly somebody that I've known for years in Andy Reid, is going to cater his offense and the play calling according to the talent that he has at the quarterback position.
There was a guy sitting in this seat before me, Donovan McNabb, who also played in the Andy Reid system and became a dink and dunk kind of offense. Even though when T.O. got there, they started to spread the ball down the field. But this is the same offense that also allowed Freddie Mitchell to think that he was a real superstar and a number one wide receiver.
And you had James Thrash and Todd Pinkston. But you had Brian Westbrook coming out of the backfield.
Yes, but it was all within the hashes. It was nothing really going down the field. Every so often they would, but until they got T.O., they really didn't go down the field a lot.
That's right.
And so you take that now in Kansas City, and Alex Smith's a Utah guy, so I'm yay Utah. But he is a guy that's only executing the offense in which they have. They've always been in between the hash kind of offense.
So what are you saying, Steve Smith? I love saying that name for somebody else, by the way. But what are you saying, Steve Smith? Are you telling me that we're going to wake up over the next couple of weeks and all of a sudden we're going to see an adventurous Alex Smith?
Well, if you want to win,
Wait, I got a question.
That's not going to happen.
You can't play not to lose kind of offense.
Man, that's all he's done.
But here's the difference,
Steve Smith, I have a question
Hold
for you.
on, I'm still talking. The defense gives the Kansas City Chiefs more opportunity offensively. When your defense isn't stopping anybody, your offense cannot make mistakes. They can't throw away the ball. You're not going to always win a game 27-30. You can't. If a team scores 27 points against you, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to win the game.
You know how Kansas City feels about being in Foxborough. You do know that.
I've never been to Kansas City, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
Tell me when you're ready for the question.
We're good.
Okay, good. Ready? Good.
Yes.
I want to mess with Steve Smith. Well, I've seen him, 300-pounders not want to mess with him. Now,
you ain't been messing with
Stephen A. Smith's point here, Stephen A. Smith's point really is, let's talk about the big picture with Alex Smith. Yes, I understand the plays, he has to execute the plays that are called.
Yes.
There may be something to the fact they look at his arm and go, well, we got to call certain plays, but there also may be something to his personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, he's mistake-free, but does he have that extra something that will allow him to execute the game-winning play? Is there something to the fact that maybe that's missing from him?
All these quarterbacks in here have had, at some point in their career, had a time where they have to adapt and understand, and offense coordinators and head coaches have to minimize the mistakes. And in these big games, they have to minimize the mistakes. They cannot go in there and all of a sudden and throw the kitchen sink. One of the things that you can always do, a guarantee a loss, if you try to be something you're not. You have to go with what you know and be ready to win the game.
So what is he not? He's not a big play dude.
You just basically said Kansas City essentially has no shot because going
that's not what I said.
I didn't quote you. Okay. I'm saying basically, meaning paraphrasing. The bottom line is this, Steve Smith.
Yes.
If Kansas City is who we know they are and who they have been, they've got no shot against New England.
Can you use the inside voice?
Yes.
I love it. You know how to hold your own.
He came loaded.
There's another subject.
Actually, the answer would be no. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what I do. That's like me going on a football field and asking you not to be good.
Can we move on, gentlemen?
I'm chill. He's yelling. And,
I like it. You're holding your own. You're holding court right now. I want to get into another subject you're very qualified to talk about right now.
Okay.
That would be the wide receiver position. So the Giants
never heard of them.
Had a 4:25 p.m. Eastern kick Sunday where they beat the Redskins at FedEx Field. Then the entire receiving corps hopped a plane to